Chasing the Nightmare!
Hey, this
Hi,
is our first chill casual meeting of Chasing the Nightmare. We're talking today with Floccinocci and Tip director Isaiah Chase. How you doing, Isaiah? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm doing good. Yeah, I'm the director on Floccinocci and Tip. It's a very cute short about two little dudes running through a magical wasteland, and we're gonna have a lot of fun talking about it.
We also have here today with us Jeremy and Sky. You guys want to tell us a little bit about yourselves?
Yeah, I'm a voice actor here on Fountain's Pen and just excited to hear you.
Sky. It's very good to be here. I'm a story artist in Fountain's Pen, and I've also done uh, LP errands, let's say, on FNT. So it's very awesome to be here and hear this conversation going.
Happy to have you guys here. This is a little skeleton crew of the podcast gang, but we hopefully we can get more on next time. So let's start out. What is everybody's favorite animated TV show?
My favorite anime TV show of all time would be Inside Job. Um, it's
Oh,
it's a great one. It's on Netflix. Kind of I wouldn't call it dark humor, but it's sort of like uh, what's the word for when you're just like a negative person? It's like negative humor. Um, a lot of conspiracy theory humor. It's about like the shadow government. It's a great watch. It got 2 seasons on Netflix.
I heard it got canceled or something like that.
Yeah, it,
That's
it
a
was a shame.
Oh man, that's a sad shame of the Netflix curse. It doesn't make it past 2 seasons. How about you, Jeremy?
I'd have to go with Phineas and Ferb. Um,
Oh,
yeah, because I grew up and stopped watching cartoons and on vacation, and my kids were watching this show about this platypus and a mad scientist. I'm like, what is this? And I fell in love with it, and I just became a huge cartoon fan again because of just walking through the living room at that moment. So
wow.
yeah, and I'm excited about the new seasons coming up. So
Hmm.
That's a fact. I can't wait for the show to come back. Uh, it feels like it never left, to be honest.
yeah, yeah.
I didn't realize how much I watched Phineas and Ferb as a kid until like a couple weeks back. I was making a bunch of references to it, and my roommate was like, "God, you watched that a lot as a kid, huh?" And I was like, "Oh, I guess I did, yeah."
Yeah, people say, "Oh yeah, this episode aired, I don't even know what it is anymore, like 10 years ago." It just doesn't seem
It
possible.
started
It
in
doesn't.
like 2000 and something, right? Oh man. How about
I
you,
didn't look it
Sky?
up. Give me a second. I'm looking this up right now. Came out on 2007. I was officially 6 years old.
2007. Oh my gosh.
I was the target demographic.
No, I was just gonna say I remember I had the game on the DS. I played the
Oh my
heck out of
gosh.
it as a kid.
Yeah, me
Oh
too.
no. We should all bring RDSs, see which one opens, and just have a stream of that.
Little gaming session for sure.
Exactly.
All right. So what's
Yeah, so
your
my
favorite
favorite,
show, Sky?
yeah, my favorite series, and all-time favorite is Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Oh,
Oh,
that's a
hi Tom.
classic. All right.
Yeah, Avatar: The Last Airbender just was my favorite one of my childhood, and it continues being one of my favorites in adulthood. So new comics, new books, not so much the new Netflix series, but
Mm.
that's me. So
I haven't seen the new Netflix show yet. Maybe we'll have a organize a discussion to talk about the first
I
episode or
would
something.
love, I would love to talk about it. So much to say.
Oh, I'm excited to hear. So, continue. What is everybody's favorite animated movie?
Favorite of all time definitely has to go to The Iron Giant for
Oh,
a multitude of reasons. I think it's just a beautiful film and really encapsulates when it was made. Um, like the beautiful blend of pencil animation and CG in that film, I could talk about for hours. And personally, it happens to be set in the town that I grew up in, which I didn't find out until like my teens.
Really?
Oh, no way.
Yeah, very cool because nothing happens in Maine. Recently I watched Robot Dreams, and that's quickly become a favorite. Wanted to mention that one.
Robot Dreams.
Yeah, it's that film. I'm sure you've seen bits around. The dog and the robot, they skate.
Mm, I gotta check
It
it out.
was very good.
How about you, Jeremy?
Wow, I have to think about it. So many good movies. See, I pretty old for this group. I think I remember some ancient ones like Land Before Time.
Oh,
I
that's
was
a
a
great
kid when
one.
I was a kid when that came out, and I just loved that. Um, Boy, more recent ones. Well, Spider Verse was
Mm.
incredible. Just the animation. I've learned to appreciate the art of animation as I've gotten involved in projects like this. And I don't animate myself, but just yeah, just learning what makes good animation and what's revolutionary and everything. So I'd have to say that one's pretty impressive. Just the Spider Verse series.
That's for sure. Definitely started a little revolution in the animation industry, that's for sure. What about you, Sky?
I've been trying to find one this entire conversation because I'm stuck between two very well-known movies. We have How to Train Your Dragon, the second movie,
Okay.
and the Tangled movie. I think I'd go with Tangled movie just by how many times I've seen it, and how that single movie got me to a spiral of watching the animated series. It was so impressive to me, and the songs were beautiful.
What's the movie called?
Tangled
Okay. I gotta check that out.
with Rapunzel.
Okay, okay. Yeah, yeah, I don't think I've seen that since I was like 10 years old. Yeah, I
Oh,
definitely
it's
gotta give it the new perspective rewatch.
it's still very good. The animation was great, I'll be honest, and the songs were just amazing.
Have you kept up with doing that one movie a day thing?
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I'm watching 365 movies this year. I watched this animated OVA the other day called Dead Leaves. I don't know if anybody's
Oh
ever heard of
yes,
that.
Oh
Oh
yeah,
my
yeah,
God.
yeah.
It's some of the most beautiful animation I ever saw in my life.
that's a classic.
I was blown away. I'm like, how have I not seen this before? I think I gotta go for my favorite animated movie being also my favorite Scooby movie, Legend of the Phantasaur. It's
Mm.
that's like a
That's
golden era for Scooby movies right there, the early 2010s, and that was the most hilarious, self-referential, and just like mind-bogglingly bonkers Scooby movie ever to come out. And I can always go back to that movie anytime. So, Isaiah, I wanted to ask you, who are some of your influences or inspiration?
I think like a lot of people in like this new wave of online animators, I take more inspiration from individuals on spaces like YouTube and Newgrounds rather than industry people. Not to say that there aren't industry people I love the work of, but a few people that always
Right.
come to mind are Joshua Palmer, who is making that Monkey Wrench series on YouTube. Love his work. Um, there's this animator Greg McMahon, who I just have studied hours of his work. It's some of my favorite stuff on there.
Not the not the football coach.
Not the football coach, no. I don't know anything about football, but I guess he has a similar name. Uh,
I'm definitely behind on the YouTube animator scene, which is bad. I need to get up on all the good folks. I'm gonna write these down.
I think I tend to just snoop in the credits of a lot of indie projects, be like, oh, this person did some stuff. I like
Mm,
this.
it's a good way to network too, you know. How about how about the other folks here? Do you guys have any particular inspirations or influences for your work?
Let's see. In voice acting, I do a lot of announcing and narration. And Gary Owens was Space Ghost, and
Ah,
he has a very unique narration style that I try to emulate.
love that. He definitely has a very unique and iconic voice, and I think I can see that inspiration now that you mention it in your work.
Yeah, I got introduced to him in the Space Quest games. He was the
Oh,
narrator for Space Quest 4 through 6.
the old
So
point and click adventure games.
yeah,
Hell
yeah.
yeah.
For me, I have this very funny thing of being unable to remember names of any. So that's why I just, gave up on trying to remember names and just look at things as a whole, especially as a story artist. I just, the thing that made me in love with this art was seeing Steven Universe storyboards all around
Mm.
town back in the day being 2015. And like a lot of my style was inspired by Avatar: The Last Airbender, and it slowly turned into its own thing. I've been having those two as my main inspiration
And I gotta ask, have you read the comics?
of Avatar.
Yeah.
Every single one.
Yes. All right. We're gonna have to have a conversation about that later.
Actually, Avatar released a webtoon as well,
Oh.
so I'm looking forward to for that to come out.
All right, let's get into the meat and potatoes. Our little guys, FNT, as we call them, about 100 different ways to say his name. We have Floccinocci, Floccinocci, Floccinocchi, whatever you call him. It's the little F man and Tip, which is ironic because F is our main man too. Isaiah, tell me, how do you keep F&T going? What are some of your inspirations you take when working on F&T?
When I first got onto the project, I kind of wanted it to be like a more whimsical Ren and Stimpy, like less focus on shock humor and more so about just fun and like innocent, whimsical adventures. And that's definitely still true. But talking with the crew and finding my footing as a director on FNT, it has honestly, I think a good comparison is very early Looney Tunes.
Mm,
Um, those sort of like situational comedies almost, where just these characters are placed anywhere and they just make it funny and they make it this whimsical moment that you just get lost in.
I love that. Just an inherent whimsy that's just anybody can enjoy.
Yeah, that's what's very fun about FNT is that, as F has stated to us before, they were built to be very neutral characters that could be put into a lot of different situations and be appealing to almost anyone.
Tell us a little bit about the characters.
The way that I see them as a director is that Floccinocci, the smaller blue one, is kind of the more. I want to say that they're like the panicky one, but that might be because I just kind of think of them as like a little chihuahua.
A Chihuahua, I love that.
They're a little chihuahua looking. I think Flocci is the more like quiet, laid back of the two because that plays into their dynamic with Tip, who's the more like adventurous, maybe a bit dim-witted, big lovable guy. They're a very fun pair, and I have a lot of fun drawing them, and the crew is just in love with all of them. And they're gonna make some really good plushies one day, I'm gonna say that much.
Oh yeah. I'm definitely
You know,
excited to be able to start
I'm
printing
looking
those.
forward for all of my money to like be wasted on a lot of merits of them.
I'm gonna have a big tip plushie sitting in the taking up the whole corner of the bed.
A beanbag.
Beanbag. Oh yes.
One day, she should be a beanbag.
We'll make it happen. We'll partner with one of those big brands or something. Um
I have some connections with crocheting, so
oh, there you go. There you go. Yeah, we're gonna make you make them by hand. No. So what are some of the ingredients that keep F&T cooking? How do you keep things rolling?
Working in an online studio, I think one of the biggest hurdles we face, especially as a lot of newcomers to this kind of production, is that it's very hard for myself included to balance our work and life situations. And so one thing that has very much helped with keeping the production of Floccinocci and Tip on track, recently we started up a bi-weekly check-in with our animators. We've gotten a lot better about reaching out to people individually about the workloads and the schedules. It's really connecting with everyone on an individual basis and making it clear when things are due, making it clear who can handle what at the moment. It's a lot of communication is the biggest strength in any production because that
Mhm.
keeps us informed on what is achievable in our immediate future.
Makes sense. It's all about clear communication and just staying in touch.
Yeah.
Sky, you're also a director at our studio. Haven't really said much about that publicly, but here we are. How do you feel? How do you keep your team rolling and moving?
It has definitely been, something one has to keep working on. And like as I said, communication is key all of the time. And it's very important to be able to set not boundaries. That's not the word I'm looking for, but be firm in your deadlines, but also be understanding of individual people's situation.
Right, right.
So it's this very fine balance you have to keep.
Setting expectations
Yeah.
makes sense.
But yeah, it's been amazing being able to like be a part in a team that I haven't had the chance to before, and seeing everyone's amazing work blossom each day.
Oh yeah, there's some seriously talented artists in these teams, and it blows my mind every time I see something posted.
Makes me very happy.
Isaiah, what would you say are some of the biggest challenges you've had to overcome during the production of your short film?
Biggest challenges I would say is when I first was put onto the team for FNT, I was just a 2D animator. I was just meant to do a couple of shots. And somehow a month later, I was ended up as the director. So hopping onto that role for a project with such a large team, it was a challenge because I didn't exactly have a footing either in the world of FNT, what the direction of the short was, or leading this many people. I had personally led much smaller teams on smaller productions in my past, but nothing to the extent that we're doing now. And that was definitely a hurdle I had to overcome personally. But it was made significantly easier with the help of the individual artists on FNT, the management here at the studio.
Oh,
I was given every resource that I needed to find my footing, and I honestly could not have asked for a better team of people to work with.
I'm very happy that it worked out that way. We're very lucky to have you. I think you ended up director just by being in the right call at the right time. I'm like, oh no, the director's leaving, and you're like, hey, I could do it. And I'm like, all
Oh,
right.
I think you're misremembering because I remember it terrifyingly. Me sitting in the weekly production call, just chilling out, and then you're like, "Hey, Isaiah, can you direct this?" I was like, "Huh? What?"
But hey, you're doing an amazing job.
Oh
Thank
yeah.
you. That makes me very happy to hear.
Yeah, I've been involved in a lot of indie productions that just they never get off the ground. It's like everybody's got lots of energy, everybody's all gung ho, like right as it's starting, but then the actual work starts up and it just it loses steam. And it's always that management piece that it's somebody there just to push people through. It's the old 80/20 rule. That last
Mhm.
20%, just pushing through that is just brutal.
Oh
Absolutely.
yeah.
So just push into that finish line. So I'm excited here because of the things I hear, the things I see on the Discord channels. It looks like things are actually getting done. This is actually going to get off the ground. So I'm super excited to see where you guys go.
Thank you, thank you. Yeah, I'm so proud all the time of all the projects moving forward. we're not ready to announce any release dates yet, but we are getting extremely close, extremely close. It's coming very soon. Keep an eye out, on the Fountain's Pen social media and the YouTube channel. Before the end of the year, we're gonna have stuff out there for you. That's a guarantee. Before we go, my final question for you all, and we'll start with Isaiah. What have you learned while making your film?
Biggest thing is that you should not underestimate a solid foundation. Coming into F&T halfway through, like I said before, I had led other projects, and so I knew what the kind of workflow that worked best for me and how we organize assignments and deadlines and everything. And coming into a different production that operated very differently, I was uncomfortable to say the least. And so working with my team of assistants and getting references from other directors on the server, we sort of found a middle ground of what works best for the new direction of FNT. And I cannot say do not underestimate how you assign your shots, how you organize your deadlines. Just you want to make sure that it is as easy as possible for every member of your team to find the resources they need. Like, where can they find the schedule? Where can they find what's available? Where can they find the references and resources they would need to complete an assignment on their own?
Very important, yeah.
Yeah. You should try and organize things as if this was your first job. Like, what would you need? What would you want given to you? And how easily could that be found by someone?
Jeremy, what have you learned in your time here and the projects you've worked on?
Let's see. I got into this voice acting thing, and really hard to it's really hard to land gigs. You got to really pump time into auditions and everything. And I just kind of got to the point where I said, you know what, I'm not gonna do this unless it's fun. And I was about ready to close it up, and then I got connected to Fountain's Pen, and I'm having fun here. I'm just happy. Every assignment that's come my way, I've just enjoyed it.
That's amazing. That's really beautiful to hear that we were able to help give you some enjoyment to this.
Yeah, I love
And
what you do.
yeah, you
Yeah.
seriously have done an amazing job. It'd be a huge shame for the industry to have lost you. I'm glad we found you. Sky, how about you?
I have 1.5 answers to this. The first part is that as a story artist, I really learned how not to take some shortcuts in the basics. You have to know the basics to break the rules, as they say. That's something I try to turn away from when I first learned what storyboarding is or how to do storyboarding in class. And then I realized, oh, I'm shooting myself in the foot. So when I first joined and did some projects for several of the shorts here, some turned into pilots. You guys should, you guys check that out later on. Uh, shameless plug. But yeah, like I think it's very important to listen to direction, make everything as easy you can, both to yourself and to your teammates who will work on those things later on. That went for 1.5. The half answer is, it's been very early now that I've started directing something that is connected to my answer before. You need to be firm because as much as I wish to be as easygoing as I usually am, you cannot always do that if you want to get things done, which is unfortunate, but it is what it is.
Right, sometimes you got to put your foot down and be like, "All right, guys, we need to see
Yeah,
some progress here. Come on."
yeah, yeah. It's unfortunate, but this is how things are, and we all want to make our to have something to show for all of our hard work, and for that to happen, we need to have end result.
We'll reach it very soon with the help of our talented team here.
And an amazing production team.
Y'all make me blush every time.
I think it's a you problem. I think you should stop being good.
You're too good at your job.
Thank you, thank you. I take a bow. Well, with that, does anybody else have anything they'd like to add?
I
Uh,
I had a couple people I wanted to shout out on the production team on FNT.
Oh yeah.
If I do not include anyone, I hope that does not come across in the wrong way. I'm just highlighting a couple people that have done above and beyond what has been asked of them. First of all, being Char, our music director, who has worked on several professional orchestral and ballet productions I know of, and that is just incredible that we have someone like that on our team, and they're
Oh
producing
yeah.
high quality work. I cannot even put it into words. On our animation team, Alma Dielgo has been one of the most helpful and communicative animators that I've worked with in the whole of the server. They've done touch ups on several shots and just produced really nice quality stuff. Same with a recent addition being Mr. L, who has been very receptive to all notes that has been given to him and is always eager to get some quality work. And
Mr. L
lastly,
is a
mhm,
superstar. Hopefully
he
we can
is
get him on the next episode, hear from him a little bit.
for sure. And then lastly, on the background team, Surat did these beautiful moving backgrounds, which were just so impressive. And then they were like, hold on, let me make some color alternates so that you can use this a couple different times. And I was like, oh, cool. Okay, you're awesome.
so that is amazing.
Surat is
Yeah.
incredible. And last person, Doodler. Tiger, I know you're just as upset about this as I am, that that beautiful background is shown for like, what, 2 seconds?
Oh my God, they made one of the most beautiful paintings I've ever seen in my whole life, and it's
It,
for like a 2.2 second shot in the short film. Keep an eye
it
out for
it's
it.
one of my favorite things in the whole short, and
Oh
it's
yeah.
uh a tragedy.
I have it as my desktop background. Sometimes I just sit here and stare at it.
God, funny.
Thank you so much. Thank you everybody for coming today. Would you all like to go ahead and tell us where we can follow you on social media, or if you have a website, let us know.
If you'd like to look into my work, you can find all of my social media links at linktree.com/Isaiah Chase.
All right.
Yeah, I'm just basically on Twitter at Jeremy A. Freed. I really don't do anything other than just bad jokes. So,
We all need a little bit more. Yeah, we're doing the Lord's work right there.
As for me, I'm on Twitter and Instagram at happy_1_year with 2 R's. I mostly retweet things, but when I post, it's about my two original characters.
Definitely, everybody check their pages out. Give a follow. Check out Sky's amazing art and Isaiah's crazy
Oh,
animations.
And
Um,
also check out Fountain's Pen Productions on YouTube and
uh,
Twitter.
yeah,
Not TikTok, never TikTok,
never TikTok.
never TikTok.
ah,
We are on YouTube, we are on Twitter, we are on Instagram, we are on Blue Sky, we are on Reddit. Look us up anywhere and everywhere you can find us. We have a website, fountainspenproductions.com. Check it out if you want some more details about the projects, and if you'd like to see maybe some updates when we have release dates, you could find them up on that website. Keep an eye out. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in, and have a great day.